Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome back to the Fever Pitch Podcast. I'm your co-host Brian.
Dan, how you doing?
I'm not doing well. My team lost, but
Oof.
you know, there's better days ahead. But let's talk about what happened in these AFC and NFC championships. Let's talk about the Chiefs and Ravens first. Talk to me.
All right, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not think it would be such a low scoring game, but it was basically a defensive stalemate throughout the course of the game, if you ask me. The Chiefs kind of held it down in the second quarter, getting scoring 10 points there. They didn't score again. They scored 17 points in the first half and didn't score another point, and that was enough to get the W. It was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. Lamar cooked up a pretty solid drive, moving through a touchdown pass to Zay Flowers.
Yep.
And after that, it was pretty much a stalling from the Ravens offense. Um, some of it maybe because of officiating, some of it maybe because of just, Steve Spagnuolo and that Chiefs defense. But all in all, I think Kansas City just had a better coaching day, and now they're in the Super Bowl again.
I couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. When I look at this game, actually, wait, repeat that statement.
I think the Ravens are outcoached and out schemed, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think Coach Spagnuolo definitely kept them on check. I think Tom Monken got spooked, and that did it really.
Okay. All right. I'm about to rant, so bear with me.
All right, go for it.
So
Get
when I
ready to
was
cook this up. Get ready to cook this up.
when I was watching this game, two things became very apparent to me. The Ravens beat themselves. And that
Okay.
was very clear from the penalties, from the two turnovers in the end zone. It was very clear. What was also abundantly clear was for some reason in big moments, the Ravens don't want to play Ravens football.
Mm.
Ravens football is run heavy. They ran the ball 6 times to the running backs, 8 times total, 2 times to Zay Flowers. In games where the Ravens run the ball 20 or more times, they were 11-1 this season.
Mm.
But when they fall under that number, I believe they were 3-4.
Mm.
So it was very surprising throughout this game that on every second and third or second and short, that the Ravens elected to pass the ball consistently throughout the game when everybody knows that the Chiefs have played worse defense against the run than they do the pass. They have the number 4 ranked defense this season against the pass and number 16 ranked defense against the run this season.
Mm.
So even if you eliminate all the other factors, this game was very winnable. The Chiefs were very beatable. The defense held it down, but for whatever reason, Todd Monken, John Harbaugh decided that it was time to just put the ball in the air for the complete duration of the game. And everybody knows Lamar does not play his best football throwing over 40 times a game. I mean, any QB, honestly, when you're throwing 40 passes a game, you're
Mm.
not going to be playing your best football. That's not what it's about. It's not just about
Mhm.
gunslinging, right? I mean, we can look at Dak for an example. When he lost to Green Bay, he threw like 60 passes. Like
Mhm.
it just doesn't make sense. Um, and when I was watching this game, we could get into the penalties that were missed and things of that nature, but that doesn't matter at the end of the day because even despite that, we should have been able to win this game. My main concern was the running, and then additionally with the running, the lack of maturity in some situations. It looked like the play like a Raven attitude went away, and that everybody reverted to emotion from Van Noy headbutting Travis Kelce, from the taunting call, which I thought was weak, and I think also Joe Burrow even tweeted out, let him taunt." Um, the taunting call on Zay Flowers, um, and I'm not sure if this was intentional. Roquan Smith clearly ignoring the snap count and just running into the offensive lineman
Mm,
at the end of the game. All these situations were mental lapses.
mm,
All right. Mentally, the Ravens weren't in the game, unfortunately. And it saddens me to say because this was the worst game that I saw them play this season by a long shot. Even when you factor in the Steelers losses, the Colts loss. Well, we only had, do we have a fourth loss?
mm,
And even the Cleveland loss. This is by far the worst one because we didn't put the ball on the ground and we didn't stay true to who we are. You've seen time and time again when we stay true to who we are, it's very easy for us to win. It's not even a question. The defense is like an iron curtain. You're holding the arguably, not even arguably, the best playoff quarterback to 17 points and shutting him out in the second half. All we had to do was get another touchdown to tie the game and even sniff OT. And even if you factor that out, let's say we get that ball against Zay Flower, Zay Flowers catches that ball and it's tied up, and then we actually put the ball on the ground and grind out the clock instead of letting Kansas City hold the ball for a majority of the game. Things are a lot more favorable. Everything was rushed and hurried because we let them control the pace of the game.
mm.
The Chiefs controlled the pace of the game, and like you said, Spagnuolo in the defense, um, he showed what they can do. And this isn't his first time showing this either. He did this against the what I think it was like the 16-0 or 18-0 Patriots or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
So he's no what's it called? Rookie to beating teams who are destined to do something great.
Yeah.
And
He's a great DC. He's a terrible head coach.
yeah, great defensive coordinator, but under him and Andy Reid, that combination seems to be working very well.
Hmm.
Where can I start? Hmm. The defense played lights out. Kyle Hamilton played great. Um, in some situations, I did wonder why we were playing zone for a majority of the game. When we switched to man, I think at halftime,
Hmm.
that's when things started to be lights out. We
Hmm.
we're playing zone against Patrick Mahomes. You should never play zone against Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce. They're gonna find the weakness in the zone.
Hmm.
Um, overall, Matabike had a great game. I thought Clowney did very well. Um, I thought Roquan and Patrick Queen played hard. Kyle Hamilton played great as always, and the secondary did fantastic. So shout out the whole defense. And as bad of a game as it was for Lamar, I think what was it, 2 picks?
I think you're picking a fumble.
Picking a fumble, so 2 turnovers. Um, yeah. The pick to on the deep ball to Isaiah Likely was a bad throw. He was triple covered.
Yep.
Um, and yes, it was a pass interference because they literally tackled him in the end zone before the ball even got there. It doesn't matter because it was still a bad pass.
He may have been trying to draw a flag potentially, and
I don't think you're trying to draw a flag when you got 3 people on you. he tried to turn around and he was getting tackled.
Mm.
But that's just my opinion based off of what I
Oh,
saw. So, but I can see what you're saying.
yeah.
And ultimately, when you look at the small mental mistakes, Zay Flowers being a rookie, Odell being non-existent in this game, Nelson Aguilar, where were you? Who else? Rashad Bateman, yeah, you're like option 3 or 4, but also non-existent in this game. And I definitely do believe that the running backs would have been great in this game, especially against that front four that Kansas City had. When
Mm-hmm.
you drop back for passes 40 times, you're bound to get sacked. Even Mahomes got sacked in this game. Um,
Twice, yeah.
you said what?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. So honestly, all in all, I was very disappointed. I even had to turn off the TV and I had to go to sleep. I didn't watch the Lions game live. I had to go watch it back.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and all of this begs the question everybody was talking about: is the NFL rigged, um, and things of that nature? Because you probably saw the tweet also of the NFL calling in the ref that most heavily favors away teams in situations. I think it was like he had like a 60% or something
Mm.
chance success rate for away teams.
Mm.
I don't think it's rigged, but I want to hear what you think before I share my thoughts.
I try not to use the whole rig narrative. I do think some things are like very odd and consistent coincidences begs does do beg questions. So I would say that, but I won't go as far as to say that these games are fixed. I think as a grown man who's putting their livelihood on the line for 60 football minutes, if you tell me I have to deliberately lose, I'm not going for it. But I do think some things happen. It's like, all right, I mean, what are the chances of this happening? I.e., the Zay Flowers fumble. I think Snead made a great play, but it's like there. It's like, well, why even die for the end zone there? It's like worse, you get tackled and then you'll give it to Gus or even Ricard, who I saw didn't really, yeah, Ricard didn't even register any stats in this game.
Yeah,
So I just feel like something like that is questionable decision making. I think Tom Munkin kind of just got in his own way, to be honest.
absolutely. And with what you're saying, I don't think that the NFL is rigged, but I do think that does happen is the NFL will create favorable situations for the outcome that they want the most. But it's still any team could win the ball game.
Facts.
The better team can always will always win.
Most times, yeah.
Yeah. Like for example, like a taunting call and stuff like that at home. I'm like, okay, interesting. Yes, it's the AFC Championships. Ball and all, Mahomes did play a better game than Lamar,
Yeah.
and that begs the question of through this point in their careers, who do you think was on the greater trajectory, Mahomes or Tom Brady?
Hmm. So this is what year six for Mahomes.
Yeah,
What six five straight AFC championships?
6.
It's six straight AFC championships. I mean, it's hard for me to really identify with this is our Brady. Like, well, not our because I was around for Brady, but my nephew and them, that's their Brady. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I feel like, and he's doing it in a very like entertaining way, throwing it without looking at his sidearms. So it's like it's engaging and it's working. They were 11-6 in the regular season, and everyone got worried. I know the AFC West is cake, so it's like I mean they're gonna take that division, but People were like, "Oh, I think the Bills might do it this year. I think Miami might do it this year." If you think about it, the teams they faced on this run, at one point or another, people put those respective quarterbacks above Mahomes, Tua, Josh Allen, and Lamar. I think the gap is not as far, but he progressively bet he progressively beat better competition. And yeah, he didn't put 50,000 points, but y'all had the best defense in the league. And he put up 17, and that was enough to get the job done. So
Yeah, definitely. And though it's like now we're like getting into the portion of like greatness where it's like in this game the narrative was very much everybody versus Kansas City. That was
mm-hmm,
very much the narrative.
mm-hmm,
So the people wanted the Ravens to win,
mm-hmm.
right? And I think all the people's champions lost this weekend. But when you look at Mahomes, it's like when the Warriors had won, like I think it was like two straight, and they were going for their three-peat. It's like, okay,
Yep.
here we go again. You guys are here again. We want somebody
Mm-hmm,
else to win. It was cool the
mm-hmm,
first two times, right?
mm-hmm,
And that's what always happens with greatness. You know, everybody's gonna look at him and say, can somebody else win?
mm-hmm,
Can my team win? Can my team get a
mm-hmm,
chance?
mm-hmm.
Because now they're dominating. Six straight AFC championships, four trips to the Super Bowl. Only people to ever beat them were Joe Burrow and Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Tom Brady beat him at home, and so did Joe Burrow, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, versus AFC Championship game at KC.
Oh no, no, no,
AFC
wait.
Championship
Did,
game.
did the Bengals beat?
I think the Bengals AFC Championship game was at home, the first one.
Oh, okay.
I think the second one was in Kansas City. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Pardon me. I think they were both in Kansas City. Oh yeah, because they were calling it Burrowhead. So yeah, both of them were in Kansas City.
Okay. Wait, hold on one second. All right. So yeah, you were saying the Burrowhead or something like that, right?
Yeah, they were calling it Burrowhead because I think uh Joe Burrow was like 2-0 or 3-0 against Mahomes up until last year when Mahomes got the AFC Championship win last year. Now he's back in Arrowhead again, potentially. Oh, well, pardon me. He went to Baltimore, and this time he ended up getting the W, making it back to the Super Bowl for the second year in a row.
Mm. Okay, so it's very clear that Mahomes is this era's GOAT, you know.
Yeah,
It's very clear.
yeah.
And I don't think this run is going to be as consistent in the future. I think oh, I don't just think I know Lamar will be back
Oh yeah,
either next season, season after that, or the season after that. He will be back, and this there will be a rematch. Pretty sure we played the Chiefs in the regular season, but the regular season no longer matters,
yeah,
like at all, 0%.
yeah. Lamar has entered the Dak Prescott, Josh Allen.
Well, let's
Hold on,
let,
let me explain. Let me explain. Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Tua-ish bucket of quarterbacks was like, we see that you have regular season success. You need to get back to where the 15 is. You got to get to that conference title and you got to get to the big game.
my only disagreement with that statement is I say let's keep it to AFC teams that have been to the AFC Championship. So I think it's just Josh Allen and Lamar competing with Mahomes at this point, and then Burrow when he comes back next year.
Okay, that's fair. I'll
Dak
give you that.
has never been to a conference championships. I think we're putting
It's
we're elevating him beyond where he is, in my opinion.
fair. I just see it as you know, these are very good regular season guys. We just need that postseason success. Because granted, Lamar has the wild card round loss against the Chargers, divisional our 1 seed lost to Tennessee, and then divisional round lost to Josh Allen. And then this year, 1 seed beat a rookie, and then he lost to Patrick Mahomes. So I'm just saying, when the competition gets a little tumultuous,
I understand, and Lamar will have to remove that from his name.
yeah,
Only he can do that because
no, yeah,
when you
because
look at it, he's gonna have
I
two MVPs, and he's gonna be the only person with two MVPs without a Super Bowl championship, and that's not acceptable for his legacy, and he knows that. Especially when you declare they're gonna get a ring out of me, Lamar. We want a ring out of you, please. I
it's a
beg.
cold fact right there. He did just re-up though, so it's like y'all got time.
Yeah, but a lot of our team will probably look very different next year.
Mm,
I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep Patrick Queen. He's talking about I want to stay a Raven, but I'm gonna do what's best for my family. He's leaving.
yep, yep,
He's leaving.
yep.
Um, all in all, I wonder there's definitely gonna be some changes with the Ravens over the offseason.
Hmm.
And let's talk about this NFC matchup. Lions versus 49ers. This game was crazy. Talk to me.
Kyle Shanahan does this year after year after year. Does just enough to make you think he's that guy, and then just gets exposed when it matters the most. It happened in Atlanta. It happened in, and it's been happening in San Fran for the test of time. I I had San Fran win this game and they won, but at one point it wasn't looking that way. My boy JG Riff, Jared Goff. Like I said, he'll win you some games and he'll lose you some games. But I won't even put the fault on Jared Goff, honestly, because they came out swinging. Jameson Williams had a showing when it mattered the most. Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery had did what they had to do. I think Dan Campbell just got bored. I think that's really what happened. I think Dan Campbell just plays a lot of Madden, and he just let that lead just get chipped away at. Slowly but surely, they chipped away, chipped away, chipped away. And when I realized it was San Fran, you had to put them away early. 17 points is not being put away. 21 points isn't being put away. Once you get that 24 plus, you're being put away. Because 17 points, this is what I've been talking to my dad about this. A three possession game is really one stop and a second half. If you get one stop in the second half, it's a one score game. So obviously, you just have to keep it. If it's a one score game, it's anyone's game. It's one stop in the second half. Now, a four possession game is two stops in the second half. So if I'm already up by what's four possessions? 7, 14, 17. If I'm up by 20, right? Really 24, because 20 is still three possessions. If I'm up by 24, you have to stop me 5 times in order to take the lead. It's only 15 minutes in the quarter. You have to stop me 5 times to take the lead. That's a tough ask. Versus four, I know this is one extra possession. A lot happens in that one extra possession. So that's why I think Dan Campbell just got lazy and he was just getting away from what was working. And when you do enough of that, opponents will walk you down. And that's exactly what happened. Um, I think Brock Purdy deserves, like a Geno Smith contract. Like a three-year, $100 million, maybe 125.
You didn't think
Um,
Brock Purdy's performance was impressive this game?
I do. Geno Smith is paid.
what I saw from Brock Purdy, when I saw Brock Purdy start running, I was like, whoa, what's going on? He run the ball? Let me find out.
Yeah, yeah, he got some ability. He got some
Let me find
ability.
out that Brock Purdy out here toting the rock. Who was the pass? It was the pass to
You the tip ball.
no. That receiver who only gets like one reception a game.
Oh, Juwan Jennings.
Yes. When when he started running and then he said crossbody and Jawan Jennings, one hand, bring it in. I was like, what is going on? They're out
Well,
here playing football.
yeah, you gotta realize the San Francisco 49ers might have the best roster top to bottom. And if your quarterback is making 200K a year, it's like I'm a pay to play.
That's fair. Especially when you look at this game. I think, like you were saying, um, and when you look, it may be coincidental, but when you look at who won in these games for both the AFC and the NFC, the biggest market and the biggest profitability for the NFL won in each situation, interestingly enough.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but corporate beat the people.
Yeah, they said that Detroit versus Baltimore would have been for the dope boys. And
it
I
would
agree.
it would have been lit though.
I agree. It would have been BMF versus The Wire, and The Wire would have won easy. But I mean, we get a Super Bowl rematch in our hands. We get the Montana Bowl Volume 2, the Alex Smith Bowl. You know,
The bowl that took us into COVID, the COVID
yeah,
bowl.
yeah, the COVID Bowl, the Alex Smith Bowl, the Montana Bowl, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hopefully, this one doesn't take us into a pandemic.
Lord willing, but yeah, Lord willing, Lord
Yeah.
willing. But yeah, Purdy did what he had to do. Like I said, when you have an assortment of weapons, get them the ball, good things happen. Um, unfortunately, no, fortunately enough, Jared Goff didn't turn the ball over,
Yeah.
but Jameer Gibbs did. He lost the fumble, and when you give teams extra possessions, you lose games. Um, but yeah, outside of that, they wrote that run game electric. Gibbs had 45 in the house call. Jameson Williams is a wide receiver. They say he might be, the closest thing to Tyreek Hill since Tyreek Hill. Yeah, 42-yard house call. And Monty, workhorse, 93 yards in the house call altogether. They have a lot of weapons on offense. The likes of Samuel Porter, rookie tight end, Ron Ross St. Brown, Pro Bowl snub, amongst others. And the defense is very, very stellar. It's funny because they gave up 34 points. So this was not the most stellar showing from that defense, but on paper, they get it done. Recently enough, I heard that offensive coordinator Ben Johnson was considering a head coaching role elsewhere. He was being rumored, he was doing linked to the Commanders a lot, but he's staying in Detroit as an OC. So that's news there. Prior to that news being broken, I thought potentially Dan Campbell might let him walk to absolve blame for this collapse.
Mm.
You give up 27 points in the second half. I don't really know what you want me to say.
I think Dan Campbell has a larger propensity for accountability than people think. I
Okay.
think he knows that he made some bad calls in this game,
Hmm.
but all in all, Lions fans are gonna rock with him because you have to remember this was an 0-16 team. They weren't even supposed to make the playoffs
Not now.
by
They
all
were only
counts. Like
not now.
historically speaking,
Historically, okay, okay.
like this is their breakout season, and they got to the
Yeah.
NFC Championships. What they have in store for the future, I'm very excited to see what they do. Whether it's they pay Golf because I think this is the last year Golf's contract or something like that. They either got to pay
Right.
Golf or get somebody
Mm-hmm.
else.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get you a Kirk Cousins or something for cheap. Actually, Kirk Cousins is never cheap. Never mind.
Yeah, you might as well keep golf if we're just gonna go and get the Kirk Cousins. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, golf has one more year on this deal left. So
yeah,
next year.
yeah. And everybody likes putting in that contract before they touch the field for that last season.
That's a fact.
Um,
I think he deserves it too. Division title.
yeah, he does deserve it. I hope they have
Yeah,
the space to pay him.
yeah.
Um, what did you think about these fourth down calls? There were notably, I think it was like three or four fourth down calls that came into question. Um, he kicked the field goal on one of them, which was cool. He took the points. The second one, I think it was at the end of half or something like that. They went for it on fourth down and they were unsuccessful, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Let me see.
And then they
They
got a
went for they went for it 3 times on fourth down. They only got one of them.
yeah,
Uh, as far as when that happened, I'll get that for you.
yeah. And in the second half, they went for it on like the 30-yard line, right? And this is when
Mhm.
they were down by three. Oh no, I think they were either down by three or up by three. I think they were down by three. No, I think they might have been up. That's why they went for it. But that situation, if they had went for the field goal, it would have been a tie game.
Yeah,
And I think it's a situation of being over aggressive because you're on the 30.
yeah.
Why are you going for it on fourth down? And I get it, it's part of their culture and things of that nature. Right. But
They went for it on fourth down twice and on back-to-back possessions or back-to-back drives. So no, pardon me. They went for it on fourth down
mhm,
while they were up 14. San
yeah,
Fran scored. And then they turned the ball over. First play, fumble snap. San Fran scored again. And then they had a 3-and-out. San Fran took the lead. And then after San Fran went up by 3, it was 4th and 3 at the 30,
yeah,
and they went for it.
silly,
After that, it was good night everything.
silly, because now you're putting yourself in a situation where I think they then went on to score with like less than 2 minutes left, and then they tried to attempt an onside kick. They almost got
Mm-hmm.
it, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows statistically you have like a 4 or 5% chance of getting an onside kick,
Mm-hmm.
and from nobody wants to play with 4 or 5% odds in any situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they had taken the three and then they had went for it, and then they had a what's the word played for overtime, I think the result may have been different.
Very good. Yeah.
But the San Francisco 49ers were playing miracle football out there. How many points did they score in a quarter? Split
17 the third, 10 the fourth.
yeah. That Ayukin ball off the helmet catch. I was like, I was like, what I was like, what? I was like,
Yeah. I hope they pay that man.
if I was a Lions fan, a brick would have went flying at the TV right at that moment.
Oh, you didn't see Eminem? Eminem was talking big stuff, and then they got walked down. You know, he got a song called "Till I Collapse." I think that's a very fitting song.
Collapse they did.
Shout out to M, you know, but
Because that and then because traditionally you never see Purdy leave the pocket, right?
every now and then he might scramble, yeah.
I think he scrambled for like how many yards did he have?
Rushing, he had 48 rushing yards. The longest rush was 21.
Yeah, he just got loose and did what
Yeah,
he had to do.
yep.
CMC always getting it done. Um, did Debo do a lot this game? I didn't really see many Debo highlights.
He led the team in receiving. So that's that.
Oh,
89 receiving yards, no TDs. But yeah, 8 catches.
okay, so yeah, he did what he had to do. The 49ers, when they fire on all cylinders, they're a very dangerous team.
Yeah.
And yes, they are
Then
essentially, when it's corporate versus the people, they are corporate, but they do have some humanness in them with Brock Purdy, the cheapest quarterback in the NFL.
The NFL likes a story, and this is a good story. You got the best quarterback in the world versus the last pick in the draft. So
Yeah. And all in all, when you look at this, now that puts the 49ers at what, 2-31 in comeback games.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean they're improving. Just need 30 more games to tie it. But
Case.
when we look forward to the Super Bowl, Chiefs versus 49ers to COVID bowl, post-COVID bowl, like you're saying, Alex Smith Bowl, um, whatever names. What are your thoughts on this upcoming matchup in like 2 weeks?
Kyle Shanahan is gonna Kyle Shanahan like he always does, and he's gonna lose.
You think so?
But yeah, but to expound, I think we're going to see the last pick of the draft put at the last pick of the draft, and it matters the most.
Mm.
I think Coach Spags is listen, man. He kept the 2007 Patriots in check. What do you think he's gonna do with the last pick in the draft? I just don't see. I've been saying I don't see a lot, and the things I don't see be happening. But realistically, I think San Fran is just not good enough to beat Andy Reid and Coach Spags. Um, I feel like when you got Pat Mahomes back there, he'll play the game he needs to play. He threw 2 picks in the Super Bowl and won. I don't think he's gonna throw 2 picks in February, but we'll see what happens.
That is a good point. But I like the 49ers in this matchup. And I think the story and the narrative favors 49ers here.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it.
The big thing that if the 49ers do that I think will win them the game is run the ball. If you run
Mm.
the ball down the Chiefs' throat, if you utilize Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, I think the 49ers have a good chance of winning this game. Don't get me wrong, Mahomes is great, but we've seen him lose in the Super Bowl before. That wouldn't be a first.
Yeah, he had no lineman and scored 9 points.
Okay, and the excuse this year would be he has no wide receivers. They all kept dropping the ball. There's
I'm
always an excuse.
gonna okay, I just hope you realize. Don't worry, don't worry. It's cool. It's
Wait,
cool.
I realize what?
We'll talk in 2 weeks. I've said enough on this pod. I have a whole clip on TikTok that went into very good detail as to what they got in Arrowhead. So
Okay.
this is
All
what
right.
it is.
But let's get into hot takes, cold facts. All right. This hot
Talk to
take.
me, talk to me.
All right. Hot take number one: making the All Star game holds more weight than being a Pro Bowl selection.
The NBA All-Star game, yeah, I fully agree. I think the Pro Bowl is a waste of time. I can name a bunch of players that were Pro Bowlers that suck. Teddy Bridgewater, Andy Dalton, amongst others. Tyler Huntley were all Pro Bowlers.
Whoa, no, not too much on Tyler Huntley.
I'm just saying he was a Pro Bowler. Whereas the likes of who doesn't have a Pro Bowl that's actually very good at football. Um,
Raw.
I'm all right. Thank you. It's not a Pro Bowler. So the sliding scale for Pro Bowl selections in the NFL is just very flawed. I think the NBA does it right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to it, but yeah, like they had their All Star game coming up in about 2 weeks, and I think they got it very very right.
I think when we look at the Pro Bowl, I think there are some duds in there. and I think the main thing that is the determiner is that the All Star game uses popular vote versus All Pro. I don't even know how they make the Pro Bowl. I don't know even know how they make their selections. It's not by the fans though.
Mm,
So when you have them the popular vote, you tend to get it right more often than not. But
mm.
sometimes things do tend to get a bit skewed. Like for example, a few weeks ago before John Morant got injured, I think he played 4 games and he had the most all-star votes
Yeah,
compared
it's a fan vote, but
to like 2 other people who had been playing all
yeah,
season. I was like, what is going on?
but that's a fan vote though. Fans don't watch these games.
Hmm.
That's why they're fans. Analysts watch these games.
Yeah. Which is how the fan vote is good, but it can also be a double-edged sword. If
Mm.
a team really wants a player, especially the fan base really wants to see their player be an all-star, people will make fake accounts and start voting.
I mean, they'll do it regardless. But yeah, the All-Star games is in Indiana, so of course Tyrese Halliburton was going to be there. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury, so I don't think he'll be able to make it.
Mhm.
But he was going to be there regardless.
Okay, okay. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I think the main difference is analyst versus popular vote.
Hmm.
All right, second hot take I got for you is Josh Allen will never win an AFC championship.
Well, what do you think about Carson Wentz? What do you think about the career of Carson Wentz?
I think it's pretty mediocre.
No further questions.
You want to expound on that?
I think Josh Allen is a very talented QB that just can't get it done because of who's a I think Burrow will lap him. I think Mahomes has already lapped him twice. And if he doesn't lock in two of them, like, nah.
Lamar
Anyway.
Lamar will lap Josh Allen too.
Lamar, yeah. And Lamar is right there. I think if you ask me, I have Lamar over Josh Allen. But I know that's a controversial opinion, but
Wait, what?
I have Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen right
Oh,
now.
over. Oh, yes, I
Yes.
agree. I think
And
too. I think
that
he's Trump's. What does Josh Allen have?
fans. That's all he has is fans. So and a Madden cover. Well, Lamar got one of those too. So yeah, all he has is fans. And he has a rocket arm. The NFL likes rocket arms, i.e., Ben Wentz, Josh Allen, etc. So that's why he gets all this praise. I don't think he's that good though.
Mhm. All right, the third one, Luka Doncic will win a ring before Devin Booker.
Absolutely. Uh, we saw Phoenix up 2-0 in the finals and get walled down by Giannis.
Mm.
And the super team era is failing weekly. I think Luca is just more equipped to win the championship. Tool wise. So I don't know when, but I think Luca gets a ring before Booker does.
Mhm. Hmm. Yeah, I think what we're seeing with the Suns right now is similar to what we're seeing with what we saw with the Nets like a few seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Frankenstein's monster type
Mm-hmm.
situation. They're trying to piece it together. Maybe they'll get close. Maybe they might have a playoff run. But honestly, and we talked about this last episode too. I think any team with KD that as like the driving force and not KD in the support role isn't a team bound for success.
Hey,
I think KD's a great. He's one of the great offensive players of all time, but he's Scottie Pippen. He's not MJ.
flip that one. Flip that one.
Just in my personal opinion. I like KD as a player too, and I wish it wasn't the case, but show me something that tells us otherwise.
Hey,
Like, tell me something otherwise.
I don't want to put an if game, but if he didn't tear his Achilles, man.
If yeah,
Oof.
if he didn't get
Oh
hurt,
man.
But what has he
Oh
done?
man,
He's been in the league for how many years?
what? So 17, 18.
You've been in the league for 18 years. You tore your Achilles one season. You still had 16, 17 other years.
You got two chips. Shout out to KD. So
Yeah. Shout out to those Warriors chips. All right. But I'm gonna pass it to you with the cold facts.
all right. So did you know in the history of the NFL, well, since 2000, no one has ended the season with both a ring and the MVP? So no MVP has won the Super Bowl in the same year since 2000.
Mahomes didn't
Nope.
did Mahomes win the Super Bowl last year?
Except Pat Mahomes. Somebody had to, hey man, thank you. This is why you're here because my sources sometimes be failing me. This Niners Chiefs Super Bowl rematch is the 8th Super Bowl rematch in NFL history.
Hmm.
So
What are some notable ones?
you had Bengals 49ers back in the day. You also had Bills Cowboys back in the day. You had the Rams Patriots. Those are like 15 years apart, but yeah, those that happened. And the Eagles Patriots also about 15 years apart, amongst others. Um, and Patrick Willis, since we're talking about the 49ers, legendary linebacker Patrick Willis will likely be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And while he was playing, which is from 2007 to 2014, he had the most tackles in the NFL throughout that span.
Patrick Willis. Can you remind me what team did he play on?
San Fran, linebacker.
San Francisco. Patrick Willis. Hey, shout out to Patrick Willis. The most tackles in the NFL from that span.
Yeah.
Did he ever win Defensive Player of the Year or anything?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. That's a good question. Patrick Willis. Uh, oh, his birthday just passed on the 25th. So I would relate it. He finished, he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he finished fifth in 2011 for Defensive Player of the Year.
Hey, well, defense wins championships, and shout out Patrick Willis. Um,
Indeed.
and on that previous point that you had said about the rematches, it's funny that regardless if the 49ers had won, they would have got a rematch.
Yeah. Well, no, if the whoever came out the AFC
Would have been a rematch for the
with,
49ers.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. How many rings do the 49ers have?
Five, I think.
They've been to a lot of Super Bowls.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. They've had competent QB put for a lifetime.
But
Young, Montana,
Joe Montana, that followed by who?
Steve Young,
Steve Young, then who?
Alex Smith was supposed to be that guy, but mm, Kaepernick,
Colin Kaepernick. Hey,
yeah. And then they had the dormant period. And then Trey Lance is supposed to be that guy. Well, before Trey Lance, Jimmy G got them there.
yeah, they had porn star Jimmy. Yeah.
Trey Lance was supposed to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got Brock Purdy. Two straight
Brock
NFC
Purdy.
championships.
Mm. Hmm. And then that raises the question, if the 49ers win a ring this year, how do you think that changes the narrative on Kyle Shanahan as a head coach?
Hmm. I think he'll get less hate from me, but the grand scheme, I think that's like the only feather that's not in his cap at this point. So it'll
Okay,
definitely shift things.
that's valid.
I still think he's trash, but so
Okay. Huh. All right. Talk to me about what's going on in the NBA before we close out. I know you gotta head out soon.
yeah. This man Luka Doncic, I've never seen that. Well, no. I'll say it. I don't think I've seen anything like Luka. Put up 73 last Friday.
What's been going on these past few weeks with NBA and scoring? Is there something in the water?
Adam Silver's NBA is allergic to defense.
Mm,
Rest in peace, David Stern, because they put defense right then. Uh, Adam Silver's NBA is all about scoring because scoring brings numbers and numbers brings money. Like back in the day, 125 used to be like, dang, y'all scored 125. Now we're getting 125-point games every week. So just to think of some recent 60 pieces, Kyrie had 60 a few years ago.
mm,
Karl Anthony Towns had 60 recently. Luka just had 73. Devin Booker had 70 some time ago. So it's like we're here. Like 60 is the new 40.
mm.
And I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't like that because it starts to diminish some of those higher point totals that we kind of coveted.
Yeah, like
Uh,
Luca has the fourth highest point scored in the game ever, at 73. He
mm,
also had 10 rebounds and 7 assists in that game. So he damn near had a triple double
mm,
in the regulation.
okay.
Crazy. The Raptors, I don't know what's going on with the Raptors, but I know that they are fully on the rebuild track. You know, they won that championship in 2019. Let Kawhi walk out the door. And now they've done the same with Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby, trading them to the Pacers and Knicks respectively.
I don't think they quite let Kawhi walk out the door. I think Kawhi said, I'm leaving regardless of what you guys want. I
Mm.
came here despite my wishes of what I wanted.
But you won, and you haven't won since.
That's true. But where did Kawhi want to be?
Home,
Where's Kawhi now?
home,
He doesn't care about winning. He already has how many rings? Two?
two,
Yeah, he's spoken for.
two or three, two, two, two. Um, over the last 20 games, the Raptors are 5-15. So
Ooh,
the
putting up
best,
some Detroit numbers.
yeah, the best way to rebuild is to lose. So here we are.
Hey,
And Devin Booker had 62 the other day. So he has the two highest scoring performances. And he has the two highest since 2000. Devin Booker has the two best scoring performances in the loss,
mm,
70 and 62.
what do you think that says about Devin Booker?
He's a stat merchant that can't win.
Not holding back any punches today, I see.
Nope. Salute.
Smart
This is
Devin
why this is why we double team in pickup games.
Booker. Are Devin Booker and Carl Anthony Towns one and the same?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because Carl Anthony Towns put up 62 in the loss last week. Did we talk about Embiid's 70 piece? Did we talk
Oh,
about that?
yeah, we did last week.
Okay, so yeah, everyone wants to score, but only Embiid. No, yeah, Embiid won that game. He did. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think Embiid's the only one who's Embiid and Luka are the only people winning
Hmm.
and scoring. Adam Silver's NBA man.
Yeah, things are different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else we got here?
A few quick points. Arthur Smith, former head coach of the Falcons, is now the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. So perfect Kenny Pickett.
Is
I
that good
think
or bad?
it's awful. Perfect Kenny Pickett.
Mike Tomlinson retired, right?
No, no, not yet.
I thought
Mike Tomlin is still
I
the
thought he
head
was about
coach
to
there.
retire.
He thought about it.
Honestly, out of all the people, wait, what's his coaching history? Because maybe he was just
Offensive coordinator for Tennessee,
ooh,
head coach of Atlanta, offensive coordinator for the Steelers.
that's his whole
I'll pull
career.
up.
What
I
about
mean,
before that?
I'll look at that's what I can pull off head. I'm looking up. Prior to Tennessee, he was at Ole Miss coaching as a defensive intern,
This
and he
is
was
not a
he was on the commander staff during the Obama era. So
I mean, a lot of people are on that commander staff.
yeah, it's funny. Of that 2013, probably 2013, you had Bobby Slowick, who potentially, oh, he went to North Georgetown Prep. Anyway, Bobby Slowick was potentially going to be a head coach in the next few years. He was like a tight ends coach for the Commanders in 2013. I would unpack it, but I am hard pressed on time. But it'll definitely be talked about next.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to talk about there are two teams actually two teams from that division, the Eagles and the Eagles and the Commanders, who've just led to a whole lot of head coaches,
Yeah,
but no rings for their own franchises during that time.
we'll talk about it.
All right. And I think we didn't even talk about it. And if you're on the NFL conspiracy tip, Taylor Swift being at the Super Bowl and just overall throughout the season has generated $331.5 million of equivalent brand value for the NFL. So it's no wonder the NFL wants the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, Mahomes is great, but $331.5 million of brand value right now, and in the long term of things, it'll probably be over $1 billion of added value just from her being at the games because you have the Swifties watching football now.
Risky or rich, we're talking about bad blood.
Huh. Yeah, funny. No, but I know you do gotta head out. Anything you want to close out with?
Hey man, be on the lookout because we're back to dropping 3 times a week. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Fever Pitch Podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Dan.
Oh, and if you don't already, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on whatever podcast platform you listen to podcasts on, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and leave a comment or a review. It helps out a lot, and we really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of Fever Pitch Podcast, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Take care. God bless.